If you're a fan of improv comedy, you've probably heard of Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's one of the best comedy shows on TV, the best one on ABC for sure. However, one installment of this show that I'd watched was undoubtedly creepy. This is what you have to know to understand my disturbance. Whose Line Is It Anyway first originated as a radio series in the United Kingdom before coming to TV in 1988, and lasted until 1998. It was a fake game show with a host and 4 contestants. There were several games in the show based on what the audience shouted. Contestants acted out an improvised sketch until the host pressed a button to stop the sketch. Then the next game began. Drew Carey was the host of the US version from 1998 to 2007. All the contestants had good relationships. Most notably, there was a friendship between Ryan and Colin, and between Ryan and Drew, the host. 12 years ago, around 2001 or 2002, I was channel surfing and occasionally switched to Whose Line. Drew was pressing the buzzer and laughing his ass off. The audience were applauding and cheering, and the guys were standing on the stage, all 4 of them. Some game had just finished, and I could have missed some really great stuff. Drew's laughter was hysterical. That's where things went completely wrong. Drew would just not stop laughing. As the guys took their seats backstage, it was time for Drew to make another points-related joke and announce the next challenge, but instead, he just laughed and laughed. There was an awkward pause. The confused contestants began to look at each other. That was when Ryan began to act strangely. He was just staring at Drew, observing him motionlessly. Was he hypnotized or frightened? Either way, it was really creepy. Drew started to cough severely. He rose from his desk and tried to go somewhere, but suddenly fell over, face down on the stage. The audience was completely silent at this point. The camera focused on Drew, and occasionally it cut to the guys. I think it was shock, because even I felt it while I was watching. I was thinking, what the hell? Why would they show such a thing? When Drew fell over, all the guys jumped up from their seats. All except Ryan. Instead of helping, he cringed and sat back, while still staring at the agonized Drew. It was very unlikely for a friend to act like this. It appeared that he had not even cared about Drew's health. Wayne was holding Drew, Colin slapped his back, and Brad poured a glass of water for Drew. "Do you need any help?" someone shouted. I think it was from the audience, but nobody bothered to respond. The cast talked to each other, visibly concerned about the whole mess. You couldn't figure out a single word. The microphones might have been switched off, or the audio might have been muted, or whatever. I don't know. Colin said something to Ryan, maybe even shouted it, but Ryan didn't answer. He just shook his head and shrank back even more. I watched, completely freaked out. Why do they show someone choking nearly half to death on a primetime comedy show? Was this supposed to be a funny routine? I'm not the kind of person who complains about TV stuff and writes protest letters, but I think this was cause for it. Are they out of their mind? Drew was still trying to clear his throat, and suddenly he just coughed blood. "Fuck!" someone shouted loudly. I think it came from someone in the crew, maybe Dan Patterson, the producer. I was totally confused. The program was usually censored. Was this unedited, like the DVDs? Filmed live? But why would they broadcast it? I have no idea. This lasted for another 10 minutes. No one came in. No one tried to resolve the problem. Laura Hall, the musician, was not present at the piano. However, she usually was not there during the non-musical rounds, so the last game must have been one of those. At the end, Drew was motionless, but he wasn't displaying the typical signs of death. Still, it was immensely creepy. The broadcast was abruptly interrupted by a commercial break, after which another Whose Line episode began without any oddities whatsoever. So, there you have it. As far as I know, no one mentioned the incident in the mass media or the internet forums. The show was cancelled in 2005, but Drew Carey is still hosting a couple of TV shows. He's safe and sound, still a friend of Ryan Stiles. They worked on other improv shows together. I watched all the episodes of Whose Line on YouTube, but I never saw that particular one again. In one occasion, Drew had choked on water, but that was quickly resolved. The whole thing took less than a minute, and Ryan was really caring about Drew this time. As well, some of Ryan's hoedowns, like for example, "I'll have my own show when I murder Drew Carey." That became very creepy for me. However, that's basically all I've noticed. I still can't make up in my mind just what I think about what this all was. I don't know.